Today, we're going to be using the new Streamlit framework to build an interactive data web application. This web application is going to allow you to automatically clean your data, create visualizations on the spot, and convert between and export different files like CSV and Excel. And I'm going to break all this down for you guys through interactive code, taking you through, showing you what's going on. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back, guys, for another episode of Code with Josh. For obvious reasons, I'm Josh, and I'm stoked to have you guys here. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, head down, hit that like button, and subscribe. That really does help out my channel reach a wider audience within this crazy YouTube algorithm. Guys, I hope you like it. This is my ugly Christmas sweater with Will Ferrell from Elf. Had to wear it for this time of the year. Hope you guys like it. Will, if you see this, drop a comment and let me know that you've seen the video, okay? Anyways, guys, in today's episode, we're going to be using the Streamlit framework. This excels in building web applications really fast and really well, but it also handles data apps much better than other frameworks. So I'm going to introduce you guys to Streamlit, this framework, and then we're going to use that to build out this web application. Guys, real quick, the first link in the description is my weekly Python newsletter, where I break down content dedicated to helping you grow in this space. Not just data, but also Python. So if you haven't checked it out, come on in and join in on all the action. That's the first link in the description. That's my weekly Python newsletter, and down there is the Discord community that you guys can come join in, ask questions, and just all around have a good time. Well, let's jump into why you're all here, building a data app with Streamlit. Over to VS Code.
I am beyond excited for this episode here, guys. Once I started using Streamlit, it made making web applications so much easier and faster. Right? I've been using Flask, Django. This is a lot of fun. So the first thing that we need to do here is our imports. Now, I already have these installed. Okay, so if you don't, you're going to have to install them. And really, in your terminal, we are going to be using Pandas for this because it's a data cleaning app, a data sweeper, and then Streamlit. And so you can do pip install Pandas as well as Streamlit and run your code. Okay. Once you have all that installed, we're going to go up top here and we're going to import everything we need. So I'm going to import Streamlit as st. Okay, so anytime I want to refer to it, it is just st. I'm going to import pandas as pd. That's our shorthand. I'm going to import os. We need this for working with our files. And then lastly, I'm going to import here io, and this should just come right with Python, okay? And we're going to import bytes. Where is it? Is it going to pop up? No. Bytes io. This is going, oh, that's why. Import, I should be saying from io, right? This is going to allow us to convert files into binary and keep them temporarily in our memory for converting the files. So anytime we're working with CSV or spreadsheet files, I can use this to create like a buffer for our files. Very nice. So we have all of our imports. We need to really set up our app. And what we can do is we're going to tap into Streamlit now. So anytime I use st, just remember that's coming from the Streamlit library. Right? So what I can do is I can say st, and we're going to say set page. Is it going to appear? I'm hoping it would. Config. Okay, there we go. And inside here, we can put the page title. This is going to appear at the top window of your page. And I'm just going to call this, I guess I could do something like, where is my data? This represents data. And we can just do data sweeper. Okay. And then also, what's the layout of the page, right? I want the page to be wide to occupy the web page like Google Chrome. So I'm just going to put in here wide. Now, I'm going to be using Streamlit a lot, guys, and you should be reading the documentation, right? Because these videos, the goal of these is for me to help you start using this today. But when you're coding on your own, right, reading documentation really helps. I've read a lot of documentation. This is great. Okay, for example, if I head over here to develop, right, and I just go down here and, for example, I want input widgets, it explains everything here. And I'll just click on input widgets as a whole. And it actually shows you, like, geez, it shows you what the buttons look like. And if I click on it, or even I don't even have to, it shows me how to use it, right? So like down here, it would tell you everything it needs. So I'm really impressed with this documentation. Okay, you can use this to really go through your own projects. So I have set up our page, okay? Now going forward, okay, I want to give my page a title. And I want to just write like something on the screen, like a heading that the user will see. So I can just say title. I'm going to put a title in there. And then inside here, I just want to write something on the screen. So for example, what can my app do? My app can transform your files between CSV and Excel formats with built-in data cleaning and visualization, which is really cool. Okay, I had a lot of fun putting this one together. If you guys are getting value or you enjoy this kind of content, hit the like button and subscribe. The title, we have already called this Data Sweeper, so I'm just going to drop in Data Sweeper here. Okay, very cool. Okay, so I'm just going to show you guys really quickly how to run your application so you know. Okay, open up your terminal, and instead of just clicking the run file button, we can't really do that. It's not going to work anymore. So we need to write here in our terminal our command Streamlit run in the name of your file. Mine is called app.py. When I run this command, it's going to provide you with two URLs, and it should just automatically open up your web page onto your local host. So as we build everything out, it's going to be displayed here. Okay, and you can see it's running. There's the Data Sweeper title. Here's our setup. Okay, this is great. That's all you need. You can keep it running. Anytime you want to update, just click refresh. It's going to refresh everything for us. So I'm going to drag that down. I'll keep it running still. Okay, so I need a place in our app to upload files. So it's going to be a button that I can click that's going to allow us to upload files. And this is going to be called uploaded files. And Streamlit actually has something called file uploader, just like that. And what do I want it to say? I'll just be like, upload your files. And this can really take two things, a CSV or an Excel sheet, and it can convert between the two. Okay. We can specify here. It can do more, but I'm just going to specify those two. It can either be a CSV file or it can be an XLXS. That's our Excel file. And we can also accept multiple files. I'll say true. You could give multiple CSV files in here. Okay, very cool. This is really the configuration. Now we need to go through the logic. What happens once you upload files? So if uploaded files, if that's true, we have selected files, could be 1, could be 2, could be 5. I want to go through each file so we can work with it. So for every file in all of our uploaded files, what do I want to do with it? Well, I want to extract the extension to see if it's a CSV or an Excel, because I need to know what I'm working with in the beginning. So I'll just be like a file extension is equal to os.path.split text or split extension, right? And inside here, I'm going to give it the file name. Okay, so the file name represents right here in our loop. And then I want to get the ending of it, so -1. Let's just make sure everything is lowercase. Okay, so now that we've done that, I want to read our file into a pandas data frame. Okay, so if I'm starting as a CSV, I want to view it as just a data frame so I can manipulate this later. So if our file extension is equal to a CSV file, this should be a string here. All right, so if we're working with a CSV file, I'm going to create a pandas data frame. We're just going to say PD read CSV, and inside here we can put our file. Okay. Else if our file extension is equal to XLXS, that is our Excel, then we're going to create a data frame by saying read.
Guys, feel free to drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Happy to answer and help you guys out. And if you're getting value in today's video, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe. Back to it.
What do you think? Excel. Drop in our file. Okay. Else, let's just casually throw an error here, okay, because we want to try to do that. If there's something else that happens, then I'm just going to give a Streamlit error. There we go. And I'm just going to say unsupported file type. And we could even just drop in here our file extension. What did it trigger? Let's make sure that that's an F string. All right. Right, guys, so you're welcome to run it. If that happens, I'm going to continue on to the next file. Okay, so whoops, enter, tab. Okay, very cool. If you go back to your file, you could reload this, okay? And if for any reason it shut down, just remember that command again. But now you can see, look at this. Drag and drop a file here. That's just built into Streamlit. How incredible is that? Okay, so we have uploaded files. Let's display the file information about the file that we upload. Okay, so I'm still in the for loop here. So like display info about the file. We could get the name and the file size, for example, so we can use our Streamlit write again. We've already used this before. And inside here, I could say something like file name. And we're just going to drop in here, what did I say, file.name, right? Yeah. Our other one, we can just write on the screen. Let's do something like file size. And inside there, we can do file size. That's an actual property of this. And we're just going to divide it by 1024 for those megabytes. Oh, I should be having numbers. So 1024. And if you wanted to round it down, I mean, you could, but I'm going to be pretty happy with that. Okay, cool. And now that we've loaded everything into a data frame, we want to show the first 5 rows of the data we're working with. So I know what columns do I want to keep, what columns do I want to delete. So all we need to do here is show 5 rows of our data frame. We are going to say, right, what do we want the user to see here? And we're just going to be like, preview the head of the data frame. We're going to see ST. They actually have something here for working with data frames. How cool is that? And inside there, I can use pandas and I can say head, right? Head, as we know, as you should know if you've been working with pandas, that returns the first 5 rows of data. Okay. Okay, very cool. So if you want to pop over and check, you could check at this point. Okay, I want to start to provide, though, options for data cleaning, right? Because that's what makes this app really cool. I can clean the data for me. So this is an option of its own. So I can actually say here, Streamlit subheader. This will be slightly bigger. And we could go like data cleaning options. And I want to have some checkboxes. So if I select a file, I can then work with the data and split it to what I want to do with it. So I'm going to say checkbox, and this just adds the checkbox on the screen. What do you want it to say? Well, that's sort of up to you, but I could be like clean data for. What am I cleaning data for? The file name would be displayed. So that I know what file am I working with here. I'm going to create 2 columns from that. So column 1 and column 2, and that's going to be equal to the first 2 columns. Okay, so I'm using Streamlit there. With, okay, what is with? This is our context manager, right? Our context manager is going to be able to open, we do something, and then it automatically closes. Okay, so with column 1, what do I want to do? I want to add a button that's going to allow me to remove duplicates of my data. Okay, so I can just say if button, I am just adding a button in here. What do I want the button to say? Remove duplicates from file name. Okay, so if that is true, I can take my data frame. Pandas has the built-in method drop duplicates. And inside there, we're going to say in place equals true. This alters the state of the original data frame. And then we're just going to write on the screen, duplicates removed. Cool. Okay, that's done, right? Then in the other column that we made, because I'm going to have two buttons here. So button 2 is going to be in column 2. I'm going to say button. Okay, and inside here we can just say fill missing values for, what are we filling the missing values for? File name again. Okay, how do we do this with pandas now? So I can I'm just going to use the average, okay, the average of the column. Now this only works if the column is numeric, right? If there's any words or objects, it's not going to work. So this will only apply to columns with numbers. I will say numeric columns, and this will be df. I want to select, come on pandas, work harder for me. There we go. I want to select data types, and I want to include where they are numbers. Okay, so that allows me to select everywhere with numbers. And I'm going to say columns here. Okay, there we go. Cool. In our next row, I can say df, square brackets. I can now use that, and I can say numeric cols. We just made that. So it's going to choose all the numeric columns. That's equal to our numeric columns dot fillna. So fillna allows us to replace any missing values. And we're just going to replace them with the average of the column. Okay, so I'm just going to say mean inside here. Cool. And then pretty much at the end here, let's just say st right again. Let's just tell the user missing values have been filled. Awesome. Okay, so I'm coming outside here now. Our columns are done. If we want to pop on over, let's have this thing refresh. I will try to just open a file here. Okay, so if I browse files, here's one I was working with. Here's just some crypto stuff. I'll say Ethereum. Upload. Boom. Okay, so our app is starting to work. Look at that. That's pretty cool, right? It tells me the file size. It projects the first 5 rows. Do I want to clean data for Ethereum? Yes, I do want to clean data. It unlocks these two. Do I want to remove duplicates? Remove duplicates. Duplicates removed. Fill missing values. Okay, so I'm going to have to tweak this here. Okay. Data type numbers is not understood. That's probably because I should have said number, not numbers. Okay. I'll quickly just run that again just to see if that resolved my issue. Okay, so browse files. This unlocks your desktop. Oh, this is a different coin, but that's fine. Okay, so first 5 rows, clean data, fill missing values. Done. This is awesome, guys. If you're enjoying this, help me out, hit the like button and subscribe. That really does help my channel grow and reach more people. So we're done there with our data cleaning option for that. I want the option now to actually choose specific columns to keep or convert, because maybe I don't want all the columns. Okay, so I'm going to say again, let's create a subheader, and I'm going to say here select columns to convert. Okay, and I'm creating a new portion. So all the columns in our data are going to appear, and I can choose the ones that I want to keep and the ones that I don't. So let's actually create those columns now. I'm going to say st multi-select. I can select multiple items, and I'm going to say choose columns for file name, right? And then additionally, I need to give it my df columns. This will give multi-select all the columns in our data frame. And just by default, there we go, default, I'm going to say it is the data frame columns. Cool. Okay, awesome. So going forward, our data frame is now represented by the columns that we just made for multi-select. Right, so I choose the ones I want to keep. Our data frame now only contains those columns. Okay, that's going to be really cool. Create some visualizations. This part was cool, right? So I want to be able to just see what's happening in my data before I export. Okay, this gives you a mini analysis of what you could expect coming from your data. So here, let's create another section, and I can use, typically, right, matplotlib would be used for this, but this is so cool. I don't actually have to use matplotlib here. I'm going to start doing like emojis, okay, and I'll go back through any ones I missed. Let's say like this one is like data visualization. Okay, so I've created this header. I want to ask the user, do they even want to create one? So how did we do that before? If they choose the checkbox. So if the user selects the checkbox, I could be like, show visualization for file name. Okay. So if that's true, if the user clicks that, we can go ST. Now I want to actually show you guys here real quick. If I go back here to our Streamlit documentation and I go down to chart elements, look at this. I don't even need matplotlib. I don't even need plotly. I can use their built-in charts here and these almost look better. So I'm going to use a bar chart should be my option here. So I'm going to use a bar chart. What do I want in the bar chart? Well, I'm going to say df select data types that we chose. And this is going to include numbers. I can't plot strings, right? That's not possible. Whoops, number. Okay, and I want to plot the first two numeric columns. Okay, however you want to do this, but I want to plot the first two. So I'm going to say I location, I lock, start, and then we're going to go here until the end. Okay, that's honestly done. That's all I needed for a chart. Okay, we're getting really near the end of this project, right? This just shows you how powerful and how quick Streamlit is. All right. Okie dokie. So cool. Now going forward, I'm going to convert the file, right? Because I can convert a CSV to Excel or vice versa. I can do both of those. Okay, so what we're going to do here to really start things off is let's create, once again, this is a new section of our page. So inside here, let's do like, what could be the emoji? Oh, okay, I already used it. We're going to say here, conversion options. Okay. And we're going to get a conversion, not conversation, conversion. Did I even spell that right? I think so. Conversion type. I want to choose CSV or Excel, but I can only have one option. So we're going to use radio buttons here, right? If you've worked with HTML, any other languages for building out web apps, I mean, you should know what a radio button is, but this will be like a yes or no. So radio. What do I want the option to be? I'll be like convert file name, right? Everything is just file name to, and I'm going to give it options here. I'm going to give it each radio button. The first one is going to be CSV. The second one is going to be Excel. And the key that we're going to use to do this, is it going to give me that? Yeah, okay, as a keyword argument. The key is going to be our file name. That's what I want to use to convert. Okay, cool. So if we then, so I choose a radio button, okay? Then there's going to be a button that says convert once I choose what I want. So if this button is selected, inside here, I'm just going to be like convert, and we'll put our file name. So if I choose that, remember that we imported something at the top of our code called bytes.io. This is going to convert the data from your file into binary and store it in your memory, just for short term, okay? So I'm actually going to implement that down here. So if we then choose the convert button, that's great. I'm going to create this buffer using bytes.io. So bytes.io is a class. I'm making an object and I'm creating an in-memory buffer for my file. Now, let's check. If the conversion type is equal to a CSV, then we need to do something. Okay? Elif, our conversion type, is equal to Excel, then we need to do something else. Let's start with a CSV file. Okay, so in order to convert it to a CSV file, I'm going to take my data frame, pandas, and they have a method called to. I want you to see them all here. There we go. Look at this. So to CSV, to dictionary, Excel, HTML. I want to convert this to a CSV file. Okay, what do I want to convert? Well, remember, everything is kind of held in my buffer. So I'm going to pass in my buffer, and we're going to say index is, I think I can just say equal to false. We're not going to index that. The file name is going to be equal to file.name.replace. And inside replace, we're going to give our file extension. We made this earlier. And we are just going to say the extension is now a CSV file because we're converting to a CSV file. Okay. Very nice here. The last thing we will say is MIME type, and this is going to be equal to a text CSV. Okay. I think I handled that relatively well. Coming back up here, now for Excel, we can handle this kind of the same way. DF, remember that I showed you guys just recently to Excel. Okay, what are we converting to Excel? Well, I'm going to say buffer, that's what stores everything. Index is still equal to false. The file name, we are going to take it again. We're going to say file.name.replace again. And inside here, we're going to give it our file extension as well as the new extension. So XLS, that's a mouthful. XLSX, that's for our Excel. Now the MIME type for this, because in Excel is so different, I'm going to drop in here what we actually need. Okay, I have this saved from earlier. This really just converts this to make sure it's in the correct format. Okay. This is our memory type. So, okay, once either of those are done, I'm just going to say buffer. That's my object here from bytes.io.c. I'll drop a 0 in there. Okay, so the file has been converted. You, the user, are now given the option. Do you want to download? So I'll make you a download button. And all you need to do for this is on the documentation. They have a built-in download button that we can actually use. So download button. And this takes a few things. So I'm actually going to say label is equal to, what could I use here? Let's use like a down arrow. So down. Here you go. Okay. Download, let's say file name as, what did we convert it to? So conversion type. There we go. Okay. Data, what's the data of the file? Well, it was stored in our buffer. The file name is going to be equal to file name. And then the MIME type that we need for that is going to be equal to the variable that we made, MIME type. Your app is done, guys. Right? We just built out this data analytics app using Streamlit in less than 30 minutes. The last thing I'm going to put here is let's just make sure it's a success. So at the end, we can be like, yes, good job. You did it. Congratulations. I'll say like, I don't know, party. Yeah. There we go. Let's just say all files processed. There, that's cool. Really, my app is done. Okay, if you go up back through this, you could check out a few things like I don't know. Here's a subheader. Why don't I drop like, let's make that look nice. Data cleaning. I don't know. Let's do something like tools. We can do that. Here's write preview. I don't know. What could I do for that? Magnifying glass, detective. Guys, I mean, we're done. That's incredible. Okay, let's go back to our app data sweeper. Refresh your app. If it's not running, remember in the terminal you can type Streamlit run in the name of your file. I spelled success wrong at the bottom, so Streamlit threw an error. So save that again, let it do its thing. Go back here, refresh, and we should have a working data app, guys. I hope you got value from today. If you did, hit the like button. Okay, guys, remember, I'm not actually styling this app at all, okay? If you're interested to how I styled it, that's going to be over on my newsletter, and that's going to be in the sign-up email. So head on over to my newsletter. That's the first link in the description. Join the Python fun, guys. Check your inbox for the welcome email. I have a bunch of stuff in there, and I will actually include the source code that has the styled version of the app for you guys. So I'm going to click Browse Files here. I'm literally going to choose where anything, XRP, Ripple, upload. Okay, so you can see now, just going down, my file name, boom, file size. We have a little preview of the data we're working with. What do I want to use here, right? A lot of this isn't relevant. So maybe, oh, look at this. Here's my columns. I can clean my data. I'll start off like, yeah, I want to clean my data. I don't want any duplicates. Okay. I want to fill in any missing values. Okay. Which of these do I want to keep now? I don't need this. I don't need name. I don't need symbol. I know the data I'm working with, right? Cool. Do I want to show a visualization? That sounds cool. Why not show a visualization? And you can actually see here that it is projecting. Well, after it loads, look at that. That is a built-in visualization. Now, remember, it's using the first two columns. So it's actually using date as one of those, okay? If I deselect that, I'm going to turn off the visualization and I'll turn it back on. It's actually going to project something completely different, okay? So highs and lows. Now it has the highs and lows. Cool. And then at the bottom, what do I want? This is currently a CSV file, but let's clean it up. Let's say I'll keep the CSV. I could choose Excel, but because I can open this in VS Code, I will convert that. Ooh, okay. Glad this error through. File name is not a keyword. So this is great that we caught this now. File name, this should also have an underscore in it. Okay, going back. Quickly run that again for you guys. I want you to know that it works before I leave you here today so you can go and start building with Streamlit now. I will choose Bitcoin this time. This time I won't do anything really. I will just deselect a bunch of these so you can see that the export actually works. Okay, so now it just has high, low, open, close. If I click convert, okay, now I can download. There, we actually downloaded. Okay, I'm gonna put this inside here so we can actually view it. Okay. Look at that, high, low, open, close. This is a new CSV file that we edited using our Streamlit app.
Well, there you have it, guys. Our first episode dedicated to Streamlit and building out a data web app using that. I hope you guys got value today. Okay, remember to drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts. What did you think? Did you struggle? Okay, I'm happy to interact and help you guys out. If you got value in today's episode, hit that like button, subscribe. That helps me out, helps the channel out. And remember that I create content dedicated to helping you grow. So, first link in the description is my weekly Python newsletter and also the Discord community where you guys can jump in, chime in, ask questions, and just meet each other, have a good time. That's all for this week's episode of Code with Josh. Until next time, Python crew, I will see you then.